All right. Just so everybody knows, this will be available for you tonight for your viewing if you need to review. We will be taking a benchmark in our next class unless you ace this thing right now. So correcting pens out only. Correcting pens only right now, please. Sorry, my original device that I was going to use isn't working properly. Yeah.
Is he recording?
Oh, okay, there we are. All right, what percent of students at Percy owns a computer? Well, what I needed to see was this. I needed to see. We actually need to see the screen.
That's what we need. And show.
Previous.
This.
Previous.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
I'm 0 for 2 on my mobile devices for today. Which is just great. So we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. How many students own a computer? How many students own a computer from Percy? Yeah. Well, how many students, not what percent, how many students at Percy own a computer? Shh. No, it's right up here. Shh. Yeah. What? Shh. How many students? 125. Oh, wait. 125 students own a computer. How many total students are at Percy? 500. Now, if I want to use a ratio, which I certainly can, I can use two equivalent ratios and make this out of 100. Because percent means per 100. So that means that I would just divide this by 5 and do the same thing at the top, divide that by 5. And it ends up being 25 out of 100. What percent is that? Now the second way to get that exact same thing, if you did it the other way, for many of you that did your use your calculators, you did 125 and you divided it by 500 and it equaled 0.25. This is the exact same thing as this, which is the exact same thing as this. Okay? So there's your first piece. Needed some sort of work to be able to get 20. 25% alone is not correct. I need to know how you got there. Okay? What percent of students at Madison do not own computers? How many students in Madison own a computer? 90. 90 own. How many total students are there? 270. Now, here's part of the population Here's the entire population. That's our part to whole relationship that we talked about earlier. Okay? When we see ratios from this point forward, we should start to recognize what are we comparing? Part to whole. Well, for finding percent, we have to always do part to whole. Okay? So, how many students do not own a computer at this school? Yeah. 100. Shh. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of reducing, okay, to do this. And guess what? I know that 9 goes into both of them, but because they both end in a 0, I would bet you anything that 90 will go into both of these numbers. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go like this. And you'll see, hopefully, some method to this madness when we get done. How many 90s will go into 180? 2. How many 90s will go into 270? 3. Does anybody know what decimal number 2/3 is equal to? Yeah. .6 repeated. So now, when we look at this, and it says that round to the nearest 10th of a percent. I'm going to look at this and say, I have 66.6 repeating percent, right? Here's the 10th of a percent. The next door number is higher than 5, so we need to round up that 10th. My answer for this one is 66.7%. That's rounding to the nearest 10th of a percent. It says 10th of a percent. Now, if you got 2 out of 2, you don't have to take your benchmark. If you didn't, guess what? This video is available for you to watch, because on Monday, first thing we're going to do is take our benchmark. That will be a quiz score.
We have to show it to you?